gentlemen, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. And of course, of our three locations, clearly Philly is having a better day than us.
Let's go.
Yeah,
straight from my living room.
If he could just hand me that beer through my screen, would be fantastic.
Oh man, I wish he could too.
The garage beer.
That's living room, right? I mean, you always got friends around, no matter what.
Oh shit!
Are you with them? I know they don't want it.
That's at City Hall.
There is some news, noteworthy, I guess, of Saleh landing with Green Bay. So he is an advisor there. He's not a DC or anything, but he has joined their coaching staff. He is on the practice field today.
Huh. Nice. And that's just as an advisor, I guess, right? They can't hire him as a coach.
So, they can. They can hire, like he was fired, so they can hire him in whatever role. They just didn't get rid of any coaches to bring him in. So he has a sort of undefined role within the organization, but he is on that coaching staff.
Well, I think from a good defensive standpoint, he's going to give them a lot of good advice and, help Green Bay in that aspect. Whether he's a coach or not, he definitely will be giving that guy some advice. So he's a good defensive mind. He was great in San Francisco, as a defensive guy. So that could be
nothing. He was great with the Jets. The Jets have a top 5 defense. I guess with the Jets, I would say more of as a head coach. But yeah, you're right. They were a great defense. They still are a good defense. I'm glad he got hired on. It's good for him. I didn't like the way they did him, with the New York organization. I thought they did him kind of wrong, but so it's good to see him bounce back and get at least some role that can lead to another future job opportunity down the road. What, you didn't like that Aaron Rodgers fired him? Oh, sorry, he wasn't involved.
Yeah, right. He wasn't the only one that got fired because Hackett got demoted. So, and then they brought in Devontae Adams to go from 1 2-5 team to another 2-5 team. So, what the hell? Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I firmly believe that it's Aaron Rodgers is now like part of the owners of the Jets. Like it's Johnson and Rodgers.
Yeah, no question.
Do you think that he has any kind of maybe second thoughts about joining? And I'm talking about Devontae joining the Jets, maybe because now when he looks at Kansas City, bringing in D-Hop, maybe he could have went to Kansas City, or maybe he could have went down there to with Tampa. Now that Tampa's got Godwin and Polley out for the season, Mike Evans out for a few weeks, maybe there were some better teams that he could have went with and had a better opportunity for a playoff berth.
Well, no, he wanted to go to his buddy. He wanted to go back to Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying. So that kind of trumps the other things.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's and it's funny because Adams is already complaining with his first press conference after the game. He was already complaining about the team. So this seems like it's going to go well. You couldn't ask for it to happen to a better team. So,
oh man,
what's up? I don't understand. What was he complaining about that fast?
He was complaining about energy and effort. So he said that the Jets were very flat on the sideline. And incidentally, you can listen to it. I have that.
Nice.
Stand up and say something. You can just take us back a little bit. Like I said, it's not really my personality to see something that's not right and to just let it go on, regardless of whether it's from the coaches, players, management, support staff, whoever. So obviously there was a lack of energy and urgency out there, and it was apparent, especially coming from I've played on teams that have that winning culture, and just basically I just took a moment to let them know I had reservations about speaking up too early and being too vocal too early, but I felt like in my mind I said F that because I need we don't have time, and I got to do whatever I got to do to help this team move forward. And lacking energy, that's a prerequisite to be able to go out there and have a good year or have a good play or whatever it is. So in my mind, it was something that I wouldn't have been able to sleep if I didn't speak up on it. And I got a lot of good feedback, which it wasn't a big rah-rah thing. It was just more to bring awareness to it, because a lot of these guys in here haven't been anywhere else where they've won and have had that urgency that it takes in order to be a good team. So, this team being so talented on roster-wise, it's just a waste to have everybody out there and, you know, to have a dead sideline like that. Brees catch a ball and go 60, and we can't feed off none of the energy. And those type of plays are supposed to be contagious for the rest of the team. So that's basically what I saw and what I told him. Is the thing. You know, I'm not here to be the savior. Everybody was looking. You know, the whole world. Trump was at the game. I don't know if that's because of me or not, but I mean, everybody's sitting here expecting it to be, you know, me go out there and put up 200 yards and 3 tugs when, you know, it's a storybook ending to it. And obviously, that would have been amazing if that happened. But I'm here to help shift this culture more than anything. You know, I can go out there and make the plays that I can make and try to, you know, influence guys, you know, as much as I can. But I'm trying to, you know, enforce a winning mindset on these guys. And if you don't have, you know, the energy, which is the least you got to have, I mean, you only get 17 games. We can talk like that's a lot of games or not, but, you know, I also said to him, this ain't baseball. We got a few opportunities to come out here, show what we work on, all the crazy blood, sweat, and tears we put into this, and, you know, to have only 17 options and come out flat like that and essentially give away a game, that's unacceptable. So, you know, just trying to bring a different type of swag and culture in here.
That's I mean, I don't have a problem with that because he's you know, he's being constructively criticizing them. I mean, they probably need something like that in that team. You know,
I don't know. Does he have a lot of cachet with the other people in the room being there for 5 minutes?
I mean, I get it, but I think somebody in that organization has to step up and take a leadership role, and I think that's what he's not name dropping people. He's just telling that the team is coming out flat, and so
yes.
You
no,
know.
He's dedefinitely not burying people like Rodgers does, but you also don't need multiple guys being like, you guys suck.
Well, he didn't say you guys suck. He just said you guys are flat, that you guys have no energy and you're not trying. It looks like you're not trying. When you're doing that, you're not doing anything else.
Yes.
So that's.
Yep. It's happening, Santa.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with what he did. That to me, that's just saying the facts. You're not saying it like Philly said. You're not saying it sucks, but you're also stating the obvious. And like he said, most of those guys in that team, outside of him and Rodgers, probably don't know what a winning culture looks like. So he's just trying to give them a taste of what it is. Sure. And sometimes to change the situation, you have to be vocal. And I don't have a problem with him saying something. I mean,
no, there's nothing wrong with what he said for sure.
Like you said, it could have been like Rodgers. He could have named dropped and just put people all up under the bus, you know.
For sure.
Well, as we know, the Jets stink, and it doesn't matter who's quarterback of the team. They're not going to end. It's not going to end well for New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fine.
We're all on the same page with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when you sign up for chaos, you can't be mad when chaos happens.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking, like, especially after listening to what he just said at that press conference. But I said a minute ago, I wonder if in his mind, you know, he may want to play with Rodgers, but in his mind, he's like, I wonder if I chose the right team. Because there were other teams out there that could have used my services and there'd have been a winning culture like Tampa or Kansas City or whoever, right? I just wonder if he got to think in his mind, he's probably thinking something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it also depends on what the other people were going to give up for him. Because I know that he was saying that he would only restructure his deal if he went to certain places. Right. So, you know, maybe he didn't want to go to those other places enough that he was making it harder to get there.
Right.
So,
obviously,
you think he's going to restructure his deal now?
What's that?
I wouldn't restructure my deal now.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Just saying, you know what I mean? That's
But he said he's bringing.
Again, you're right. This couldn't happen to a better franchise.
Yeah, no, I'm never mad when dysfunctional franchises continue the dysfunction, right? Like it's great for shows like ours because we get to talk about just the ridiculousness that these franchises are, especially because, you know, it's like when you're riding a bike and then you just jam a stick in the front wheel. You can't get mad that you crashed. Like, You'd be like, oh, I might have done that to myself.
Well, since we're talking about dysfunctional franchise, what do you think about Cleveland now that they're going to be Jameis Winston's going to be getting the start this weekend? You know, I mean, you got to think that's going to be at least some kind of a turnaround for them. I don't know how well James is going to perform, but certainly got to be better than what Deshaun was giving them.
You have to think that they get better from there, right?
Yeah.
Although the thing that is wild to me is, you know, he's going to get the start, but people are already calling for Zappy.
Oh, Lord.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Well, no, I understand why. Because, listen, you know what you get with Jameis.
Sure.
Why
You know what
not
you get
try
with Zappy?
Zappy? Why not try Zappy? Find out what you got for real. I mean, they got him, and in New England, they thought he might have been the answer. So, listen, are you trying to make the playoffs in Cleveland? Is that what you're doing right now? You're 2-5.
That's the thing is I think you already missed your shot.
Well, I don't know that they've already missed their shot because, again, there's 9 games. If they won all 9 games, they'd be 11-5, and they'd probably be in the playoffs.
You're winning 9 straight games with Zappy.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know you said you know what you have with Winston, but I've seen enough game footage in New England to know what you get with Zappy too. I mean, they're just 2 really good backups, but neither one of them are legit starters. They win 9 games with either one of those guys. That's asking for like the Music City Miracle or or something crazy of that nature.
Frankie's on one this morning already.
Is he? Yeah, Frankie's always got one going on somewhere.
Hey, I like this one though. Stack guy not here to not having a real source and no stats.
So I don't know if anybody knows. For all you Eagles fans out here, I've got Dom with me. Delco Dom.
Delco Dom here.
Nice.
Delco Dom DeSandro. How you guys doing? Head of security and quality control and safety for all super fans.
Right on.
I got all security covered now.
Any
I
questions?
like it.
Yeah, how many wings are you eating a day? Because you're a very large fella.
30 a
All
week.
of them.
Let's be honest, but with security like that, I'm not going to go around him. That guy looks like he can tear my arm off or something. No, I'm good. I just got some chicken wings. Hey, I got chicken wings. Hold on.
Pleasure to meet
Taking
you.
your lunch money.
Pleasure to meet you guys. You ever need anything,
Hey, pleasure to
call,
meet you too, brother.
call Delco Dom. Enjoy the podcast.
Take it easy.
I'll be right here drinking if you need me.
I just need one of those beers is what
Yeah,
I
I
need.
know, man. Like, what can you possibly get
Good
me
luck
for
with that.
green right now?
Is he
I'm only
Italian?
listening to
Are you
three.
asking me that question? Are you really asking me that question?
All Irish. I have 4 shamrocks tattooed on my body.
Nice.
Yeah, but one of them's on your ass.
Want to sing?
No, I don't. No.
Sure don't. Sure don't. Man.
No, anyway.
Nowhere else on this show on planet Earth will you get a show like this.
Well,
Yeah,
and this
just-
happens today because I am doing the Garage Beer Kelsey lookalike contest today.
Nice.
I am a judge.
Okay. And there's no better judge
It's
than you.
Delco Dom.
That's awesome.
Dom D'Alessandro. If everybody knows who he is, because he was the one that, got the finger in the face by the 49er, and then the NFL jumped in and said, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah.
Truth of the matter is that Dom would have destroyed him.
Yeah.
I was a big guy. I'm not messing with Dom. I'm certainly gonna put a finger in his face if I want it back.
Right.
So, and no offense, but we don't sell Modelo here.
Oh,
No Modelo for you.
hey, look, but you know what? In all honesty, I just drink the Modelo as a local beer because as a manufactured beer because it's honestly out of Bud Light and Coors or whatever. It's just my personal favorite. But me personally, I like a really good craft beer. That's where it's at. I mean, if we're talking about really beer connoisseurs, you gotta have a craft beer. Not domesticated or whatever type beer. I mean,
why do I more imagine you drinking OE out of a bag?
What? Yeah, if you got me at 16, you'd have been correct. Actually, at 16, I would have just taken whatever I could get for that $5, $10, $20 bill, whatever I had in my pocket to get the local.
He was like the Schlitz malt liquor.
Hey, funny about that. My ex-mother-in-law, her next door neighbor was Eline, and the Eline is the heiress to the Schlitz and the Allen Bradley fortune. So the Schlitz literally was next door to my mother-in-law. So if I wanted it, I could have got it. But I like Schlitz. Nobody wants that malt liquor crap.
That's right. He's all about that blue ribbon.
PBR, baby. Which if you're in Wisconsin, everybody knows PBR is like a huge thing up there in Wisconsin. I don't know. They love that Pabst.
You know what PBR is actually good for?
I don't know.
Making beer brats.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is actually what I will buy PBR for is, you put that in the pot and you chop up jalapenos and onions and whatever, garlic, and you let that simmer for 3 hours before you grill it. Awesome.
I usually, and this is the way I learned in Wisconsin. When I was in Wisconsin, I was out there at Lambeau Field. We were just tailgating, me and a couple of my buddies. And there was a guy there, and he told me how to make the Wisconsin brat style. And what he does is they use Miller High Life. Okay, they use that.
Okay.
But he puts Miller High Life in there, and they put garlic powder, onions, all the things you mentioned. It all goes in there. But he lets it go for 4 minutes past a rolling boil, and then he takes it out, and then they put it up on the grill.
Oh,
that's
see,
how they do it there. That's how I've always done it here. But
yeah, I don't let it
boil
because I don't want it split in the casings.
It didn't split them.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he heated them up.
They came out perfect. Just like
he heated them up quick. I got you.
No, 4 minutes past the rolling boil. You take them out. I guarantee. If it splits, you tell me, and I'll publicly apologize.
He's doing it at a faster rate. He's doing it at a faster rate. That's why.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yep.
So
now I'm hungry. So thanks for that.
So what did y'all think about all the heat that Bronny James is getting for being on the court with his dad in the NBA game? Is it justified? Is it not justified? There's a lot of my friends that are, and obviously all over social media, I see talking about how it's unfair that, Bronny got that over somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is it's not really his fault, right? Nepotism got him to the league.
Right.
His skill set doesn't quite get him there, so he's getting a lot of hate that he shouldn't really get. But he's gonna, and he's gonna until they send him to the G League. That's really what his level of play indicates. Is he needs a couple of years in the G League to see if he can elevate to the NBA. Fortunately for him, he has a contract that gives him NBA money for the next 2 years. So, I mean, he can be greatly overpaid for being G League. But yeah, I mean, are they going to get hate? Of course. He comes in the game for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything. It's just, yeah, you're going to get hate on that.
Let's be honest, though. When your dad is a billionaire, whatever that little bit of money they're giving him or that little bit of NIL that they're giving him, trust me, that is nothing compared to what he's going to inherit from his dad when his dad passes away. It's small potatoes.
I mean, his dad's 40. Like I don't know if he wants to hang out and wait for that. I think he needs to make some of his own money, man.
You don't see Bron's giving him money? Like, Bron's like, hey, here, son. I'm sure Bron's giving his son money. He's getting his fun go down.
He's got a real big Eagles raffle going for a baseball team or something.
I don't know. He might be one of those wealthy dads. It's like, yeah, go figure it out on your own. Like, I'll help you get there, but I'm not paying your way.
And that would be admirable if that's what he did. Okay, I get that. If that's what he did, okay, there's a lot of respect in that.
A sports food cooking show? Hell yeah, just break out the Blackstone. Let's go.
I actually was cooking earlier. I cooked breakfast, steak and eggs this morning. Obviously, because you see I'm painting up. These guys We had steak and eggs, and some of us had a little bit of extracurricular balloons.
Ice cold fatties.
Let's go. Man.
Hey, just out of curiosity, that beer challenge that Kelsey put my contact, you said, are y'all raising money for us an organization, or is that just for fun?
For what, the garage beer thing tonight?
Yeah.
It's just for fun.
Okay, I didn't know if that was
Last night I raised money for Meals on Wheels.
Okay, dope.
So it's I do a lot of charity work. I just did the Ronald McDonald House 50th birthday.
Nice.
So I'm
Now,
always
you're an
I'm
old
always
Navy
raising
guy.
money for some.
Now, you're an
for
old
some
Navy
charity.
guy. How good were you running the on that run? Were you doing pretty good? Were you pretty competitive?
What run?
You said you were in a run, right? You said you were doing a run.
No, I said I'm always running.
Oh,
As a facetious thing. I wasn't running for that. I have run 5Ks in football pads. And I'll
Okay.
tell you, the pictures always look better before I run than after.
Yeah. 'Cause I got to imagine afterward that makeup was just all over the place. I used to do that when I was in Savannah before my knees were really bad. We had the 5K bridge run, and 9 times out of 10 was usually for the for breast cancer awareness, things like that. And I used to take the American flag, and it was about a 4-foot little pole, and we had a flag on it. I would run the whole 5K with the American flag, and it was, man, I gotta tell you, man, it's a good time. I miss being able to run. I can't run anymore, but I miss those days. Especially
So
doing like
2 years
5K.
ago, I ran the 5K and it was over humid. It was very hot. I looked like it was raining a little bit. I come back. I finished the 5K. I'm still live on my video. And the first person who stops me to talk to me and introduce me to his wife is Jeffrey Lurie.
Oh my gosh, that's badass.
Well, I'm on the video. And,
Wow.
and I'm like, sorry how I look. You know what I mean? It's like I definitely looked better before I ran. He's, and of course it's his run, so he don't care. He didn't want to touch me because I looked like. But I did shake his wife's hand, and did that, and I have that all on camera. If you go back into my, on my YouTube, you'd find it.
Hell yeah.
I wonder when your face
Mitch, I know we got a linebacker. It doesn't really move the needle for us so much, but I mean, he is a little bit younger than the guy they sent off, so I mean, I guess that's cool. But I mean, there's a lot of holes on that defense.
Well, I gotta tell you, out of the 3 of us on this show right now, you're the only one that's currently in the playoff front.
I'm kind of in the middle.
Or does his neighborhood power walk him?
He only power walks when he's running from the cops, I think is what that is.
Hey, I haven't done that in the last 4 years, man. Come on, what are you talking about? I got a good
power walk or run from the cops, because I feel like one of those is true.
Power walk. Look, Jay avoids the police at all costs. He is a good, upstanding citizen.
So, with everything that's happening today and everything we spoke about yesterday, what do you think the odds are that at halftime the Vikings and the Rams trade?
I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? Especially
I
because
understand that we think it would be funny, but what are the odds?
Oh, incredibly low. Because it's not like baseball where they just walk over to the other dugout. This is one where it would happen after the game. Because if it happens before or during, it has to be a backup that goes out. So unless the Rams were doing the ultimate gamesmanship, we're going to tank a game for you, which would be hilarious. Right?
It would be, absolutely.
Because they wouldn't let either one of them finish the game. They wouldn't be able to play with the other team. So then it would be who's the third?
Why wouldn't they be able to?
Yeah, let me get you some. I got you some.
Zero practice. You wouldn't be able to do it.
I got to check.
I don't think you're eligible. I think you have to have a couple of practices before you can go play.
Says who?
As far as I know, I think there's actually a rule about that.
I don't know that there's a rule about that.
I hear a fact check coming.
I don't think there's any rule that determines that says that they can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
it would,
there's so many other reasons why they can't.
for
but-
sure. I mean, it would be wild and entertaining. I just don't see it happening. And if they did, say they did, then what? The Rams trot out Stetson Bennett? Like, I can't imagine that you'd have those guys just swapped. They just switch jerseys. Like Stafford finishes in a Darnold jersey.
I think they have the jerseys there waiting.
With the way Darnold is playing,
They
right
have
now,
the jerseys there waiting. Why wouldn't you do it at halftime? Like literally at halftime, be like, okay, guys, we finalized the trade. Switch sides.
yeah.
I mean, it would be hilarious. And I would be here for it.
We'd have something to talk about tomorrow.
There is no doubt, probably all week, because it would just be chaos.
Right.
I just feel like, why does Minnesota think they would even want to trade for Stafford? I mean, they're rolling hot and heavy with Darnold. Why do you need to make that trade? I don't get it.
So historically, who's the better quarterback? The guy
Oh,
with
yeah,
a
we have
ring and like 1,000 wins, or Darnold, who has 6 good games?
And they're going by the old adage. Can this person win you a Super Bowl? Are
Exactly.
you that one person away from winning the Super Bowl? That's where Minnesota thinks they might be.
And the
And they might
gameplay
be
makes
too.
it look
I
like
mean-
they might be. Not to say that Darnold couldn't get it done. He might be able to.
I guess what I was thinking was, with Darnold, at least you got a long, few years. He's young enough. With Stafford, I mean, he's at the end of his career. I mean, but I understand what Philly's saying too, because you're in a win now mode. Maybe you don't win with Darnold. So this might be your only shot at the Super Bowl. I get both of those things.
Well,
I
and
think
you
they're giving
don't
up a
need
lot of
him. You don't need him moving forward. They got their guy in J.J. McCarthy in this last draft.
Well, see, here's what I think, though. Let's play this card for a second. They make this trade, and first game he comes here and plays with the Vikings, Stafford gets hurt.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, right? Is Stafford's been injured over the last couple of years. I wouldn't love this move, because then who do you have trying to finish your season?
Well,
Right?
apparently
Stafford's
JJ.
out, JJ's out. I forget who their third stringer is, but I'm not feeling great about a third stringer winning you a Super Bowl.
They would probably have to go out and get Garoppolo.
Also with the Rams, that would be hilarious.
Wow. Talk about having somebody by the proverbial nuts. I mean, now you want another quarterback too. What's going to cost you?
Actually, it wouldn't be that. They'd probably get Carson Wentz.
They probably would get Wentz.
That's,
The funny
that's
thing is Wentz can actually win you some games.
he could. He could win.
Is he with Kansas City right now, Carson?
Yes,
Wentz?
he is.
Okay. But then who would Kansas? I mean, who would Kansas City's backup be when Carson Wentz left? I mean,
Does it matter?
yeah, it really does.
You got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is protected better than the president right now.
Well, that's true.
Ain't no doubt.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some bad news for your Cowboys.
Well, just add them to the long list of other people that are hurt.
I mean, we might as well talk about that game coming up. Is they got the Niners this week.
Yeah.
They're in San Fran. Both teams need this win.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cowboys need this win to not have a fire sale on people. And the Niners obviously need this win if they want to, stay. If they want to stay in the playoff hunt here. I think the Cowboys have pretty much resigned themselves to knowing they're not in it.
Well, somebody told
curious.
Jerry Jones about that at his own. I guess his own radio host taught him about that. He just went off on him. So I'm pretty sure Jerry Jones at this point, I don't think he can handle another crucial, another loss like that. I mean, I think Jerry's at the end of his rope.
Like, if the Niners beat them down, that would be the chaos that will happen with that team will be awesome.
Oh man,
I said the implosion was coming.
already chaos
Oh, yeah.
with that team. I don't think there was already chaos there, right? I mean, right now it's a controlled chaos, but I think come off season, I think you're going to see a lot of craziness go on in Dallas. I don't think Jerry's going to want to go through another year like this with this group. He may have no choice, but
It'll be worse next year.
of course. I think at least
And
he
Joe
knows
and
it's gonna be
Frankie, I do think that Dallas wins this week. The Niners just have so many injuries. But if for whatever reason the Niners win, especially if they win big,
Right.
man, does McCarthy finally get fired?
No.
You'd have thought he got fired after the Detroit game, but he's still there. I mean, look, when Jerry Jones is so frustrated and so pissed off that he's going off on his own reporters, yeah, I'm pretty sure Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
If he's
that,
not,
that
I'd
stuff
be
was
surprised.
hilarious. Him saying, "Oh, I can get different people to ask me questions. It's not your place to ask me that." It's like, what are you talking about? Of course they're going to ask you that.
So basically, you want. And that's what I don't understand about Jerry. I mean, are you buying reporters to pay what you I mean, he probably is doing that.
Well, he owns the station they were talking from what I was
Yeah.
hearing about it.
Yeah.
So at first I just thought it was like a podcast or something. So I was just like, what are you talking about? But I guess it was a station that he owns or something. So I guess he does have, influence in that way, but still just wild.
Yeah, maybe Jerry should have gave them a list of questions not to ask him. Maybe that would have been better. Look, you can ask me whatever you want, but here's a certain set of questions I don't want to hear nothing about.
Rob, we did talk about the trade and that you guys are going to get your asses beat by the Bills. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about the Bills part of it, but there's a good shot. I'm going to be at that game, so I'm hoping I'm wrong, but the Bills do look like they're the better team. Now, if the defense for Seattle plays like they did this last week, it should be a good game. If they play like they had the 3 weeks prior, could get ugly quick. There you go. Man. And of course, this bar talk is brought to you in part by True Fusion Gym, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Use the QR code on the screen, get a free 5-day pass at any of the 3 locations, whether it's Bellevue, Ballard, or University Village, Pilates, boot camp, yoga, bar, and more. Find your edge at True Fusion Gym. And of course, if you are into sports betting, you can bet right alongside us here at Coast to Coast using the QR code on the screen. Get up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% guarantee if you are bad at betting. And so bet alongside us here. We give you some suspect information most of the time.
Hey, I heard a rumor
65% of the time, it works all the time.
That's right. I found out last night that I'm going. It was actually given a ticket, so which is the right price. Free is the right price. So gonna go to the game tomorrow. But it wasn't one I was planning on, but I'll be there now.
I would be too at a free ticket. Shoot, can't beat that.
Absolutely.
So did y'all hear that? I heard there's a rumbling on Mason Crosby could get traded to Detroit now that Aiden Hutchinson is out. Obviously, I don't know if that came up.
You didn't watch the podcast last night when you were sitting around waiting on nothing?
No, I was at the hospital.
You should have watched. We talked about this.
Yep.
No, I was at the hospital, man. I had bigger things on my mind at that time, brother.
But you probably spend a lot of downtime at the hospital. It's always hurry up.
No, my family. There's no downtime. I'm not the little servant. Hey, Jay, go get me this. Hey, Jay, go get me that. No, Jay's tired. Leave Jay alone.
Okay.
Let Jay crawl up somewhere. Damn. By the way, hospitals. There's no reason to have that hospital that damn cold. Cold as hell.
Well, you don't want the bodies decomping.
Right, exactly.
Hey, if you want to keep the morgue that cold, that's fine. Damn.
What? And talk about what, Chris? Oh, the NBA is going to investigate the Sixers because Embiid's sitting out.
Oh, is he sitting out already?
He missed game one. He probably is not going to play the first week because his knee hurts.
Man, Embiid is
Ain't
such a
nothing to
great
talk
player.
about.
He
The
always says
Sixers are going to stink.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Until you know what, and
Borg's
you know
out
what, there
too,
was
right?
more
Isn't
people,
Borg out?
and there was just as many people who showed up to the game that showed up to City Hall to fight the new stadium.
Perfect.
There was like 25,000 people that showed up to fight the new stadium, and only 17,000 that showed up last night at the game. Because why? Because Embiid and George weren't playing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess Paul George to the Philly has gotten off to a rough start, shall we say?
Well, it seems to me like the NBA all of a sudden, what are they going to act like the NCAA and actually, oh, we're going to do this investigation because we think we should. Shut the frig up, NBA. You mean nothing. You mean nothing. The inmates have been running the asylum forever. All of a sudden, now you want it to change?
Well, I think it's because they're seeing ticket sales drop.
Well,
Yes.
that's because the inmates run the asylum in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
And they
Yeah.
don't. All of the load management and I don't want to play and all of this, like, I don't know why they're surprised ticket sales are dropping. Because the last thing that people want to go do is spend their money to go to a game where all of a sudden it's just all bench players because their stars
Not
decided not to play.
not only that, but when you pay a guy $60 million a year who only plays half the season because his pussy hurts, then I got a problem with that.
By the way, he meant pussy and pussy cats. Pussy cats.
It's not network TV. We're all right.
That's the fucking problem. That is really the problem. I can't stand. Like, listen, Embiid, great player and everything. Then let's trade him while his value is super high. Let's trade him and get 4 first-round picks to 2037. You know what I mean? Like get like first-round picks till 2037 because you can go 10 years out now.
Yeah.
And take all the first-round picks we can, get back like 18 players that nobody will actually ever play for us, and call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. The NBA it's bizarre. It's why I always laugh when you hear the sound bites of the players like, oh yeah, NBA players could easily play in the NFL. It's like you guys play basketball because you took a hit one time anyway. Exactly.
No way.
But but that's my thing too, though, right? But I mean, I've said it ever since the '90s, maybe even close to the earlier 2000s. That was real basketball. Everything since then is just, I know it's entertainment value, whatever you want to
could have
call it.
played in the
but it's not
NFL.
the same.
Robert
The NBA
Tractor
is-
Trailer.
Yeah.
He might have been able to play in the NFL as like a backup lineman.
There's a couple of dudes that could probably play like a tight end or something like that.
You might get some wide receivers out of it. I mean, there's 6 foot tall. If you're fast, you can still get some wide receivers, possibly, maybe even some cornerbacks.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. Why I say there's a couple of guys that might be able to play tight end is I feel like there's probably a couple of guys that wouldn't quit the first time they got lit up.
Well,
Right.
that's true.
Like these guys play basketball for a reason because they probably were a 2-sport player for about 15 minutes and got lit up on a practice field. And they're like, you know what? I like basketball. Because you either like to get hit or you don't, right? Like you either play football or you play basketball.
Back in the day, there was a guy named Billy Sims. I don't know if y'all know who Billy Sims. He was a 1978 Heisman winner, but he was a 2-sport guy before he went on to do great things. And he actually chose, he wanted to play baseball because he didn't want to get hit. But I guess he was more talented at playing football. So he wanted to go in that direction. But he said, but if I'm going to get hit, I want to be the one giving the hits. So that's why he chose running back, you know. And if you ever know him, he's the one that kicked. He was a kung fu kid. He kicked the, I think it was a Houston Oilers they were going up against. But he kicked that dude square in the helmet, like right there, the kind of helmet that knocked him over as he's running. It was a,
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was like the best play I've ever seen. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, it's one of the arguments that has come up a bunch of times over the last couple of years with NBA guys. Like, oh, I could play easily in the league. It's like, man, you'd get cleaned up. Even with the softer rules, you'd get cleaned up.
Exactly. Actually, you wouldn't be able to play on the field with me.
Yeah.
Listen, I play tackle football still, and I tell you, it still hurts. It still hurts, even though we aren't going at each other full collision. We all understand we have to get up for work the next day.
Yep.
You know, but when we play. They couldn't get on the field with us. They'd be crying.
I mean, let's be honest. If you got the frame of Wembanyama or Wemby, yeah, you probably aren't getting on the football field. There ain't no stick figures out there playing football.
Man, Wemby'd get broken.
Yeah. Or even what's the other guy? Chet Holmgren, the guy that's over there. Not Chet Holmgren. The dude that's over there with Oklahoma City, the big tall kid. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You know,
he was the center they drafted.
It's the ones that the ones that are mostly talking about it are the guys that can't make it through an NBA season. They're like, oh, I could easily play. It's like, man, you can't stay healthy in the NBA. They're not allowed to touch you at all. You mean to tell me that somehow you're going to make it through practice? Like, we're not even going to talk about games, right? If we're going to use the NBA here, practice.
Practice?
And you wouldn't make it.
Not a game. Not a game. Practice.
Practice.
We're talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game I love. Not the game I pour my heart out to. We're talking about practice.
They would not make it through practice on a day that they were allowed to hit. Like, if you can't make it through an NBA season without load managing 20, 30 games, and you're going to come out and be like, oh, I could easily play in the NFL. It's like, oh, okay. So either you are lying about your injuries in the NBA, or you're not as tough as you think you are.
It was Chet Holmgren, the big 7-foot center they got over there at OKC. He's like 7'1", but he weighs 208.
That's thin.
Yeah, 7'1", 208. Like, you can literally break him in.
Yeah, 208. Like, that is. So he weighs what I weigh, and is 2 feet taller than me. I mean, not really, but he's like, he'd be like 14 inches taller than me, something like that. But I mean, that is a thin frame. That is a thin frame.
I mean, and Wemby's not that heavy either. I mean, he's just a little. I mean, he's about the same type of physique as Holmgren. I mean, they're both skinny little centers, you know.
Yeah, no, he's a spindly dude for sure.
I just feel like if they ever like put faith and drove him into the ground, I feel like he would just break his spine.
I mean, I think those guys would legitimately get hurt in the NFL. I think it'd be rough.
Please,
could you imagine a 7'1" wide receiver though? I mean, literally, like you could throw the ball a million feet up in the air, he'd come down with it probably, as long as he's fast.
Well, yeah, because the corners that are guarding him are going to be 5'11". So of course, yeah.
Sammy,
what a time, man.
Yeah, so I agree, Rob.
Bo Jackson.
They were actual true two-sport athletes, though. We're talking about guys that are playing in the NBA that are just talking.
Who's one really the only two-sport NBA athlete?
Yeah, I don't think there is another NBA two-sport guy.
There's one that I can attest to.
Okay, I'm listening.
Well, I mean, really two, but I don't call volleyball a sport.
Okay. What do you got?
Michael Jordan.
Well, no, so he didn't – I don't count him.
He played professional baseball.
Yeah.
No, but he played in the minors, Pags.
He played professional baseball. He got paid to play.
He did get paid to play. He did get paid to play.
If we're going to go into technicality, that's fine. But, I mean, a true sport.
You can call it technical all you want. Did it happen?
It happened.
Look,
it happened. I don't put him in this – I don't
put him in the Bo Jackson era, department.
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't put him in this. I don't put him in that. Yeah. Yeah, Jackson, Dion, like that. Not the same animal.
100%. I agree with that. But that just shows you how soft the basketball players are.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, technically, sure. I thought you meant like you had a legitimate, like somebody played at a high level.
Yeah.
He did in basketball.
No. In the second one, right? Because when you're talking about Jackson and Dion, they played at a high level in both.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
they
I
played
mean,
at the high level, but
yeah.
it was only Bo Jackson that hit a home run and a touchdown, right?
Yeah. He
Same
did.
week.
Same day.
Or did Deion Sanders do it too?
No, I think he played in playoffs in both, right? So
Yeah. No, I think Bo is the only one to get a touchdown and a home run in the same day. I don't think Dion ever did. Dion was a good player.
yeah.
Man, that's the only thing that really saddens me is Bo Jackson. You know, I mean, the guy was so amazing, but his career just got cut way too short. I mean,
Yeah,
way
that
too
hip
short.
injury was a bummer.
Oh yeah,
And it's crazy because the injury really didn't look that bad. But
yeah.
man, did it derail the career.
Oh yeah. Oh, it did. And I felt like he could have been maybe even the first player to ever, or first two-way player to ever get in both Hall of Fames. I felt like he was that good. I think at a full career in both sports, I think he could have gotten to both Hall of Fames, which would have been freaking crazy.
Oh, I mean, no doubt in my mind he would have been able to. Yeah,
Yeah.
like absolute just freak athlete.
So here you go. Here's one. Dave
If you go back to
Winfield.
1900s, I swear.
Dave Winfield was drafted by 4 professional teams in 3 different sports:
Really?
basketball, baseball, and football, before he decided to concentrate on his baseball career.
Interesting. What who drafted him?
Well, Dave Winfield, I think, was drafted by the Expos.
No. In the other sports.
Yeah.
See, it didn't give me that information. I just said
That's
that
too
it
bad.
did.
Because that would have been interesting to know.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now. It again still doesn't. Damn it. So interestingly enough, I said Will Chamberlain. He played for the Seattle Smashers in the volleyball league.
Well, yeah, I mean, look how tall
I
he is.
mean,
He could spike the hell out of that damn thing. Who's ever gonna?
that's what I was thinking. Like, you didn't even
I
have
know,
to
like,
jump at the net.
Hey, I'd be like, yo, Will, you just stand right here in the front, in the middle, and just swat the balls away.
Right?
You know, just swat, because there's nothing you can do to get over that guy. You're not gonna spike it on him.
Oh, just imagine the serve he could have.
Oh, geez.
That downward angle would be no joke,
It'd be like dodgeball. Just dodge.
right? Like you'd hear that thing whistling coming at you.
I'm not gonna do that. No.
Oh man.
I'm trying to see if there was anybody that's like worth mentioning beyond those guys. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to even get in the conversation of being 2 pro sports, let alone actually be good at 2.
I mean, so there's been a soccer player and cricket player,
Okay.
professional on both sides there. One guy who's like he got the MVP in both leagues.
I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive. No, Jay wants Jerry to go away.
As far as I know, I think I'm on the banned list at Jerry Jones's house. I don't know. If you see this person, please notify.
That's right. Just turn him around, show him the door.
Because if he's yelling at those reporters at his own radio station, God knows when Jay shows up at the party.
Oh, here we
With a
go.
bottle of OE.
Here we go. Best GM ever. I feel like Pags isn't the only one sitting at the bar with comments like this. Oh, he said it himself. Okay. That makes more sense.
Kirk Gibson was drafted by the Cardinals
Having a rap.
in the NFL.
Okay.
Tom Glavine was drafted by the Kings of the NHL.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but they never actually ended up playing for any of these.
I mean, it's one thing to get drafted. It's another thing to actually make it to the squad. You know, I
Tony
mean, especially in
Gwynn was
baseball.
drafted by the San Diego Clippers and the Padres on the same day.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
It was definitely absurd. There's no doubt. Huh. Yeah, no, I mean, there's not a lot of guys to choose from that actually did much into, you know, getting drafted is one thing. Cause I mean, you can say the same thing for Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. And, you know, they were drafted by MLB teams, but, you know, didn't actually play or do anything. Like
Right.
Russ did some spring ball, right?
Right.
But wasn't particularly good. Yeah. Yeah, we know it's Pags is sitting at the bar, so we know he's got some background noise.
That's guys ordering wings that we can't get right now.
I know it's just making us hungry. Is really all it is. I mean, it's
Actually,
still
Danny Ainge actually played baseball for the Blue Jays.
really.
That's what it says.
Huh. Okay. Didn't know that.
Didn't know that either. That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for the win.
Wow. Tim Duncan made the 1992 Olympic Games as a competitive swimmer.
Really?
So
As a swimmer?
he was a swimmer for the U.S. Virgin Islands.
That is, I would not have picked Duncan for that. Like, that is odd.
That is.
Yeah. Not what you would expect.
I mean, he's tall enough that those laps are a little shorter for him, I guess.
I was about to say the pool's not as quite as long as everybody else, I guess. And Duncan was in good shape. I mean, he wasn't like no big guy. You know, he had a slender type build. I mean, if he had strong enough arms, I mean, he probably could do it. I mean,
Yeah.
and almost 7 feet. I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, no. He was a good athlete. He was a good athlete. There's no doubt.
Hakeem Olajuwon also played soccer.
now that I knew because he's playing soccer in Africa when they went over there and got him and brought him to the States. He didn't get a basketball until he hit U of H. U of H went and got him and brought him over.
Yeah.
I wonder if Olajuwon would have grown up playing basketball, through middle school, high school, whatever, and then into college, how much better he could have been, because he didn't have as much time as all the rest of the guys did. Maybe it would have made a difference. I don't know.
Rob, I'll end up going back because I have a bunch of points to still use. So I'll get some free wings for sure to see if they can redeem themselves.
Yeah, there's nobody else really of any worthwhile.
Yeah. Well. Will Fork shooting threes. Yeah. He's not going to be playing in the NBA anytime soon, though. That being said, that does bring us to the top of the show. If you've been watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. And, of course, if you are watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. Other than that, we will see y'all next week, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to miss tomorrow because I'm driving to Cincinnati.
Yep.
See you.
Thanks, everybody.
Stay off the roads. Go get some wings.
So
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports Podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast Podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming